Hello, my name is Isabella from TravelContact, and today I'm going to give you a webinar on TravelContact for administrators. This is a webinar for any administrative user in TravelContact, so users that have admin, assistant, and or manager profiles assigned in TravelContact, as we will touch all the setting up an agency and all of its administrative features. So before we get started, some of the topics we're going to cover include getting your agency configured and manage it through TravelContact. So just mounting your agency structure, add, activate, and deactivate users, as well as assign different user roles. Manage user preferences, commission splits, so how much the agency versus the advisor is going to receive in commission, and payroll. Also, we do have from the client profile a section to add if there's anything missing in the client profile that you don't see. We actually have the option to add custom sections for you to use. Also assign user roles and agency privacy settings. So in terms of privacy, are all advisors going to see all clients, or only advisors are going to see their own clients, as well as trip privacy settings. Add agency terms for invoicing. So we do have the possibility to create invoicing from TravelContact. You have the option to add your own logo and create terms for your agency and attach them to the invoice. Create and assign client leads to advisors. So if you have a lead coming in from an event, from a website, you have the option to capture that lead and assign it to an advisor to work it. Also, to manage the client ownership, share clients with other advisors, or change ownership at any time. Create new trips and assign them to advisors. And enter commissions payments. So enter all commissions that are received and do the split with their advisors and manage the due dates, the pay dates on which these advisors are going to get paid. And all of this gets reflected in reports that you can run from our report section or transactional section in TravelContact. So very important are our learning objectives. After this training, you should have a clear understanding and know-how of setting up your agency, assigning roles, and customizing the platform to fit your agency's needs. So we do know different agencies work in different ways. So the idea is to get TravelContact working for you. We have a very flexible structure, so you can adapt it to your needs. You should be able to extract and generate reports on all data and review performance and accounting metrics. So also very important, what we're not covering in this webinar. This is a training again for administrative users. We're going to go over all the modules from an administrative point of view. We're not doing an in-depth training on TravelContact modules for non-administrative users. Okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to go to the platform and I'm going to share my screen. Well, I'm sharing my screen, but I'm going to change to share my screen to the platform. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please use the chat and I'll go over your questions in the end, okay? So once you log in to TravelContact, this is basically your first landing point. And before I get started, I want to do some basic navigation features. So here to the left, you'll see the TravelContact menu. So these are the different modules that we offer. And just by clicking on them, you will be able to go to the different modules. We also have some quick create links. So with this create, without leaving TravelContact, or as you navigate through the different modules, see that the banner on top is always still. So you can always use this to create a new client or create a new trip. This is an advanced search feature. So if you want to search for clients, if you want to search for a particular trip, you can use this and it will give you all the clients and the trips they're in. So this is very useful. You can change the platform at any point from English to Spanish. You have our help features here. For agency administration, you can manage billing, manage all your integrations, and here go to agency administration. And you also have your profile where you can manage your own profile or sign out at any time. If you're looking to see our privacy and terms, you can always click here and review them. Okay, so first we're going to go to agency administration, and this is where you will be able to configure your agency and set it up how you need to. So from user management, you're going to see a list of all the users that you already have in the agency. You can use these options here to the right. If you click, you can see user details. So if I click on user details, you can always add payments. So these are payments that are non-commission payments. So if you have a user, for example, that met a quota and you need to enter a payment for that user, or that did not met that quota, or he has a penalty and you want to add a negative payment, you can always do that from here and enter the amount. The amount can be a positive amount or a negative amount, and enter the due date. So for this payment, when you run reports and with commissions, you're going to be able to also see the agent fees that you applied in this section. Okay. These are agent payments. You have a different tab, and this is for personal info. This is just each advisor is going to be able to edit this on its own, but as admin users, you have the option to enter an interface ID if needed. If you're a part of a consortia, or you need to assign an interface ID that recognizes an advisor with a different program or with a different consortia, you can assign that from here. And at any point, you can deactivate users as well. Going back to my list of users, as you can see, we have different roles assigned to different users. If you click here as well, you're able to change, as admin, you're able to change the role of each of these users. And we do have in our help section a detailed description of these different user roles, but basically, the host level is, and I'm going to go over host agency versus sub agencies, where host level can see everything from the host and the sub agencies. Admins have access to all modules and all features. Assistant is a role that was created mostly to enter commissions for different advisors. So assistants are able to enter all of the trips. They're not able to edit trips, but if a commission came into the agency, they're actually able to enter that commission for the advisor. Managers can enter the trips and edit them, as well as enter commissions. But different from admins, managers don't have access to agency totals or agency reports. Okay. And then you have the agent, which the agent will only have access to its own information to enter its own clients and its own trips. Okay. And again, you can deactivate these users at any time. If you want to add a new user, you just click here, add users. You will be able to enter first name, last name, email, the role that you want to assign, time zone. You can do different time zones for different users. Interface ID, this is not a required field, but you can enter it if you want to. Commission split. Every time in TravelContact, then when you're entering commissions, it's going to ask you for the split. You can either do it on a case-by-case basis, or you can have it here, and then it will pre-populate all the other sections of the platform. You can always edit it from other sections of the platform, but this is going to be used to pre-populate. And we have the option, we have an integration with UMAP. If you either already have an account with UMAP, or you want to get an account and you want to request the integration, you just click yes here, and we will get that going for you. Okay. From the agency managed standpoint, we have agencies that only have host agency structure, but we do have the possibility, if you want to do a multi-structure, to create sub agencies. Again, host roles will have access to both agency and sub agencies. And we also have the options to create branches. Branches are different than sub-agencies. In branches, you are for mostly for marketing purposes. So you can assign different advisors to different branches, and all the clients will be to the different branch. So if, for example, you want to have metrics for Northeast sales or all sales from the West, you can actually create branches on that and then see your total sales for the particular branches. We have a customization section. This is only for the client profile. So if there's anything that you're missing on the client profile, you can always come here and create new sections, or these are sections that were already created by my team members. You can edit the sections or you can delete these sections. If you're going to create a new section, for example, if I do, and we do have a section for credit card, so this is not the best example, but I'm going to do section name credit card. It can either do standard or data. The difference between this, if it's the information is going to be repeated. For example, if I do credit card, standard form is only going to allow me to do fields and enter one set of information in each field, whereas data table, you're going to be able to repeat the information as many times as needed. So if you are doing multiple credit cards, you can do a data table and it will allow you to do credit card 1, credit card 2, credit card 3. So that's basically the difference between these two. And you, from subscription and billing, you will be able to manage your billing. And I have the I don't have habilitated managed licenses, but if you want to create more licenses for your agency, you can also do that from here. And depending on the plan that you choose, on the billing section, we have different base plans. So you're going to see we have a basic plan, a basic plus, a pro. If you do the pro, you're not going to have add-ons because you basically are signed up for everything that we offer in the platform. But if you have one of the lesser subscription plans that we offer, you can always add add-ons to the agency or to the different users in the agency. And here in agency settings, you have a section for preferences. From preferences, you will be able to add a logo. This is going to come up in our invoicing section on itinerary. You're going to be able to manage agency privacy and security. So this is very important, public versus private. Public means all advisors that in the agency are going to have access to all trips and to all clients. Each client can have its owner, but all of them are going to have access. If you do private, an advisor is only going to be able to access its own trips and its own clients. We do have some sharing capabilities. So if they want to share trips with another advisor, they can do that. But coming in, the information is going to be private, and then admin users can see everything. And from invoice and quotes, we do have invoice and quotes in TravelContact. So you can, if you're doing a different logo, you can assign a logo here. And again, you can add terms. So if you want to add terms, we have two possibilities. You can do basic, and I'll show you what how this looks when we go into invoicing. But the basic is going to be just a very small field that's on the first page of the invoice. And the extended is if you have like extended terms that you want attached to the invoice, this would be where you enter those terms. If you want different date and time, like to change your date and time preference, or do 12 hours versus 24 hours, language, time zones, how you want your numbers displayed, you want to enter the IATA code also for invoicing, or how the trip markup is going to display, you can change all of this from here as well. And trip markup, we do have a service type that's labeled trip markup, but some of our agencies or users do not like the term. Some use trip markup, others use professional fees or agency fees. So however you want this display on the invoice, you can write here. And this is how it's going to display when you send to clients, okay? I'm going to leave the admin section and come back to TravelContact. Going to click home. Okay, so I'm not going to go over all of the functionality in the modules, but mostly just admin. If you click here create, you're able to add a new client or a new trip. And I want to go over adding a new client and assigning it to an advisor. So if I do, for example, myself, every time you add a new client, it has to have a method of contact, or you have to do a prospect, but prospects cannot be on trips. So when you enter a prospect and then you want to add it to a trip, it's going to ask you for a method of contact. So the method of contact can either be an email address, it could be a phone number, or you can just link to a main traveler. So if, for example, it's a kid and it does not have an email address, you can always, sorry, come here, say I'm going to link this to this main traveler and select the relationship, okay? Then this is a very important question and it's only available to admin users. Please select the source if this client is property of the agency. No, it will get assigned to the agent that's creating it. Yes, you have the option to assign it to any advisor within the company, okay? And then if you want to enter the category, so say for example, this is a lead and you can enter subcategories here. You can enter pretty much whatever you want. And then as you repeat the categories, we'll keep track of it. So let's say this is a lead and came from an event, and just click on create the client. Okay. So this automatically opens, it sent me to the client module. It opened up the client profile. And here from the client profile, this is where the advisors will have all the client menu and then can go through the different categories and enter more information. We do have a section for agency information. And in agency information, you're going to be able to see the creation date of the client, who is it assigned to? And if it's assigned to a branch, you will be able to see that here. If the client is shared with another advisor, you can also see that from here. You can always edit this and share it with someone else in the agency. And you'll see the source information. When I created it, I assigned it to this person. You can enter comments, and when comments are entered, the comments can either be public, everyone with access to the client is going to be able to see these comments, or private. Only who is writing the comments can see, okay? And important, we do have a section for credit cards. This section, if you want to store credit cards, is PCI compliance. It's based on an integration with a company named Oric. Okay, going back to the client module, you can always go back to your list of clients. This will give you the entire list of the clients of the agency. As an admin, again, you'll have access to everything. If you're doing multi-structure and you have different sub-agencies, you are going to be able to either see all the information of all clients or just filter through the different sub-agencies. As admin, you can export your database, and if you want to share the database with a different advisor, you can also do that from here, okay? Now, if I go to the trip sections, when you first, so I enter trips, these are going to be all the trips that have been created in this agency. You can see that I'm all from here. You can, again, you have the multi-agency structure because as admin, you can see everything. You can filter by my trips or by all trips, and you can do different statuses of the trips, okay? Let me just click here in all agencies. Okay, so if you want to create a new trip and assign it to an advisor to work in, and let's do, for example, advanced example, you would have to enter the main contact on the trip. I created a profile for myself. Let's look for it, enter it. And then it's going to have myself as trip owner, but you can always edit this. If you are entering, so we have some assistant users or managers that create a trip but just want to assign it to a different advisor to work it, you can actually do that from here and assign the trip to an advisor. Everything else is optional. You can do tentative trip dates. If you want a branch for this trip, you can assign that. And we do have an integration with Google Task. So if you want to add tasks to a trip, you can, but if you also save templates and you want to assign a template to this trip, you can do so as well, okay? And then you would create. I'm going to select a trip that was already created. So if I open any of these trips, I'm just gonna click on it. For any advisor, this on top is going to be the trip menu. So you're going to go through the different sections of the trip. Dashboard is a summary of everything in the trip. So as you create, this is going to be populated. You can add clients to the trips. You can add the different services to the trips. And then for admin purpose, the platform is going to automatically do an itinerary for you. And then we have the accounting section. So from the accounting section of the trip, you will be able to see all invoices. Client invoices are here. So you can see them. You can see how many services are in each invoice. Okay. You can also create quotes. So if we have services, for example, that are not paid directly to the agency, but are paid to the supplier, and you want to generate a quote to the client, all quotes are going to appear here. And then you can also see supplier payments. So we allow you to keep track of direct to supplier payments or agency to supplier. So if you received money from the client, but then you're paying the supplier and you want to keep track of that, this is going to be where all that information is going to appear. And commissions. This is commissions for this particular trip. We also have a transaction section and a commission section that you will be able to see all of the services with their commissions. But for this particular trip, you can see the commissions that are expected. You can see, for example, here, total commission 300, receive 0, due 300. And for this one, 750, we actually received the 750 and due 0. You can always come here, actions, and enter the commission. If I click on enter commission, it's going to take me to the commissions module, which I'm going to show you in a second, okay? For suppliers, we have our core database of suppliers. So all of the advisors in the agency are going to be able to basically have access to all the suppliers. If there's one supplier that you cannot find, you can always create that supplier in our database. And when you select a supplier, what's very important is only the general information is what we store on the agent on the core level. So TravelContact general information is stored at the core level, but then everything else, if you want to assign labels, GDS codes, amenities, or additional information like contacts, comments, or commission percentages for each supplier, this is going to be stored at each agency level, so other agencies will not have access to this information. The commission section, this is only going to be available for admin, assistant, and manager users. No other users or agent users don't have access to this section. And this is where you're going to be able to create transactions and match them to the services that other advisors created in the agency. So let's say, for example, I click here, I click add transaction. I have two options. I can do a manual transaction, which I'm going to go over, or you can do from an Excel file. So if you have an Onyx and tax Excel file, or you have an Excel file with all of the transactions that came in, you can actually use this, and it's going to automatically do the match to TravelContact. To do a manual, if I click here, manual, let's say, for example, I received a $10,000 check from Four Seasons. You can enter the confirmation number here. You can write a description for Seasons check. All of this is optional, but if you want, you can enter how you receive the information, and you can enter a memo. You can either just enter this and not do anything for now, add and reconcile later, or you can click and add and start reconciliation. If you click add and start reconciliation, what this is going to do, you're going to match that $10,000 check that you received to the services that are created in TravelContact. So you can use any of these fields to search and or let me see here. If I do Four Seasons, for example, and just click search commissions, all the services with this supplier are going to come up. Again, if you have the trip ID, if you want to be more specific, you can just enter and narrow your search. But this is going to allow you to see all the services created under Four Seasons. If you want to go to the trip to make sure that this is the information, this can take you to the trip and it will open on a different tab. So it will not, you will not leave this. But then once you know the services that you want to select, you can click here and click confirm and add. So this brought all this different services. You have the supplier name, all this service information, total cost, total commission expected, the commission paid, commission due. You can actually enter the payment date of this commission. So this date is going to be the date you receive the check, but then the payment date is going to be the date in which you're paying the advisors. Okay. So you can enter the payment date here, and the advisors are going to be able to see their payment dates. Commission types, most cases are going to be from suppliers. So this is, you leave it like this. But if you're doing recalls, if you're doing a markup, you can actually use that from here. Commission status is always going to be defaulted to closed. But if you want to leave it open because you're expecting more commission, or you cancel this commission or you want to void it, you can also do that from here. Let's say to this example, we receive $1,000. And I know this does not match the amount of the commission that it was expected, but it doesn't matter. And let's do, okay, 400. Okay. So if you enter the commission fee for the advisor, since here you have the advisor agent name, if you enter the commission split in the agency section, it's going to automatically come up here and you can edit it, or you can enter. So let's say the commission split for this advisor is 50, 80, and 50. So it's going to tell you the agency split, agent versus agency split is this. I have an outstanding balance, so it's not going to let me finish reconciliation, because in order to finish reconciliation, I need to enter the exact amount. But you can always either finish if you match all of it, or save and continue later. Okay. Then from this section, commissions for review, all of the transactions that you enter that are for review, you're going to be able to see them here. You can click them at any time and see the details, continue reconciliation, delete or edit the transaction. And once you reconciled, all of the reconciled transactions are going to be here. And you can also review them and edit them. And you can search by confirmation number, description, or amounts, the information here. So if I enter, for example, 100, only the transactions that have been reconciled on this amount are going to come up. Okay. We have a reminder section that's mostly for our advisors. Then on the transactions module, this is where you admin users will go daily to see all the services that have been created. So as you can see, we have different tabs. The first tab is going to be a service report. And this is going to show all the services that have been created on the agency based on a specific date range that you choose. So you can select the date range by which you want to view the information. You can filter by the different type of date. So this is creation date of the service, start or end date of the service, or by the confirmation date. Once you click confirmation date. If you want to narrow your search, again, if you have a multi-level structure, so you have host agency and sub-agencies, this allows you to view all. But if you want to narrow your search, say TravelContact USA, you can do that. And then this is going to allow you to view all agents. But if you only want to see one of the advisors, you can narrow the search by advisor here. For anything that you use this to filter, these amounts are going to be reflected here. So you're going to see for Tamara TravelContact USA, the confirmed amount for that time frame is this, and the received commission is this. You can again see all the services with all the information. and you can export this at any time. It's going to be exported to an Excel format, which you can then use. We also have commission reports. On the commission reports, you're going to find 3 different tabs. Not received, all the services that have expected commissions that have not been received by the agency. So the agency has not received this commission. You have not entered it in the commissions module. All of that is going to appear here. Okay. You can see the service cost, the expected commission, service markup. Flywire is actually an integration that we offer. If you're interested in Flywire, this is an integration for cross-border payments. So you can set a payment request to a supplier from here. This is optional. If you want more information on this integration, you can send us an email and we'll send you the information. Again, with all of these reports, you have the different levels, and you can do that on an advisor or agency basis. These are not received, not paid. It's going to reflect the information that has been received by the agency. So you enter the commission as received, but you have not paid the advisors. Okay, so you will be able, sorry about that. You will be able to see all of that information here. And again, you can export it at any time. And paid to agent is going to reflect the agency received it and the pay date already came through. So you enter the commission in the commissions module, you enter it as received, and you enter the pay date to the advisor, and that's already happening. So you're going to see it here as paid to agent. And with since you're going to use this pay to agent to probably reconcile and you want to narrow your search, you can filter it by a specific date range, the information that you want to view, and also by a specific advisor if you want to, okay? And export at any time if needed. This all commissions tab, this is mainly used to search our database. So if you have a confirmation number, a client name, agent name, or anything that you, or a trip that you want to search. Example, if I do, let's do again, I'll do the Four Seasons example. Click search. Then you're looking for a specific, let's say this one is New York City. So I'm going to do trip name here in New York City. And once it searches for that, the two trips that have this name with Four Seasons came up, you can go to actions here. You can either go enter the commission. This is going to take you directly to the commissions module, okay? Or you can do more information on this services, like for example, here, view if commission payments have already been entered, you can view all those commission payments. You can view service info or view the clients on this service, or go directly to the trip that has this services, okay? And we also have a section for invoices. So all invoices that have been created by all your users in TravelContact, you can find them here with all the information, amount due, amount paid, status, and you can use these filters and export at any time, okay? For reporting, this is our last section. If you go to reports, and this is our business intelligence section, we actually have all our data is stored in a warehouse. So the first report is amounts. You can do that again on any multi-level structure, choose a specific advisor or just totals, and choose your type of date. Everything is clickable, so you can do this. First is for different years. So if you click 2020, which wasn't a good year, you're going to be able to see all totals here. And again, I say everything is clickable because you can see here totals for gross amount, but if you want to see expected commission or you want to see agency commission, you can just click and see how the totals are reflected, okay? And these are total sales, depending on the status, confirmed versus services that you have under proposal and canceled. For the suppliers, you're going to be able to pick a date range by which you want to view the information. So if I select, for example, a date range, and then you can do reports on service type. So let's say, for example, I want to do on lodging. And then you have the different logins that came up on this. Without companies, it doesn't have a parent company, but if it does have a parent company, for example, Marriott, you can click here. And we have different levels. So we have the chain level, the brand level, and then the property level. This is a chain. And then you have the different brands. So you can see how much you sold to the different brands and to the different properties. In TravelContact, agents, you can run very specific reports for all of your advisors. So you can filter by the different agents. You can search by this. You have all your advisors are going to be here. But if you have a very big agency and you want to quickly search, you can do, for example, search for an advisor. See, manage the time frame you want to search by. I don't have anything on that time frame, but let me just go a little bit back. Okay. Just click on a different advisor because I didn't enter anything there. Fresh, so it brings all the information. So if you click on a date range and no information was entered for that advisor on that date range, the advisor is not going to come up. But then if you see, for example, any of these advisors, let's do Diana. If you click on Diana, it's going to give you all the different reports. So you're going to be able to see the totals here for both cost and commission. But then you're going to have the services report for Diana. You can export all of them to an Excel format. You can see for that date range, the commissions received, the commissions paid out. And if you entered any agent fees, they're all going to appear here. And if you do export, you can run an report, an Excel report on all of these items from here. And then we also have client reports, which are basically, these are very basic, just tell you how many clients, active versus active, prospects, leisure versus corporate, female versus male you have, and then the age groups, nationalities, or whom they belong to in your agency. Let me see. This is, I went through most of the admin features. Now I'm going to see if you have any questions. If you want to, not. If you want to write a question or you want to ask me a question, you can unmute yourself as well. Just let me know. Okay, so no questions. Again, if you have any questions that you want to send us an email after this webinar, you can always send an email to support@travelcontact.com, or my email address is Isabela with a double L @travelcontact.com, and I'll be happy to go over your questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For the learning path, this webinar, again, we went through TravelContact for administrators. We did not go into much detail of the different modules, but we do have all these different webinars. Quick Start. Quick Start is more a demo of what we offer in each of the different modules. Manage your clients and suppliers database is going to give you specifics on how to create your clients, create suppliers, assign labels to suppliers, your contacts, as well as all the preference on the client side. Introduction to trips, transactions, and reports from an advisor standpoint is going to give you how to create services, go from proposal to confirmed, to create invoices, all of that. advanced trip accounting and report is going to, once you learn how to create trips, we do have the possibility to manage different currencies at for example, add services to trips in different currencies and do invoices in different currencies, or split the cost of a trip between groups. You will learn all of this in advanced. And then we do have an integration with UMAP. We offer, in conjunction to UMAP, a webinar that if you're interested, or you can always join. Oh, sorry. And we have multiple resources in the platform. So let me go back 1 second. So going back to the platform, this help widget here to the left and bottom is very helpful, because you can search for, and it's module specific, so depending on where you are, it's going to allow you to get answers. Let me leave the report. For, if example, add a client, it's going to search our database for what you're looking for. If you don't have the answer, or if you're reporting a bug, you can just contact us. This is going to reach the entire support team. We have a learning academy, and this also very helpful, because it gives you guided flows on the platform. So again, if I do add a client, for example, quick add client is going to give me step-by-step guidance on how to do it. So this is a very helpful feature as you're learning to use the platform. And we have our help widget here. We have a quick guide with the basic features that we think you can master as you're learning to use TravelContact. So quick add client, quick add trip, need more assistance. And as you finish this task, it's going to give you new ones. But you can also always go to our help center. Our help center has videos, upcoming webinars, and specific frequently asked questions or videos for each of the different modules in the platform. Okay. And then, well, you can always email us if you need to. So thank you so much. And again, if any questions, just email us. Thanks. Thank you. Bye.